So up early, quick cup of tea, just need to grab me bait and some food and a couple of other bits and pieces, and it was time to hit the road. Let's go. So, morning. I've come back to the local club water near me just for the day, and conditions are like completely different now. The seasons are starting to turn, although we're supposed to have a bit of a cold snap next week coming in. But at present we've got like 6 degrees. I think it's going to 9 degrees this afternoon. Not much of a wind at all, but really muddy at the moment. So that ice has lifted, which is always a good sign. And the carp are definitely going to start to be on the move now, so it's always good to be looking out for any signs of like showing fish or anything like that, obviously. Yeah, I've plotted up in the same swim that I came to the other day, and going to get the rods out and see if we can nick a few fish, hopefully some better ones today, but who knows. That's what carp fishing is all about, as they say. So to start this morning, I'm going to be using some of these Essential Cell wafters. Slightly bigger hook bait this morning, so 15mm wafter. Going to be the same setup as last time if you looked in the last video. But I'm going to tie one up there anyway. So but this time I'm going to step up to a slightly bigger hook, to size 6 wide gape. And same hook link, 15-pound camo strippable hook link. Got about strip off about a foot. Grab a stripper tool, if you can find it. I've got the kettle boiling down there ready for the kicker. So anyway, you want to strip off about 3 inches. Strip the tool in there, pull that through. It's really basic rig, this, so easy to tie. A little loop in one end. And I use my needle to go through the loop and pull the loop through. You see so many people trying to tie a loop and they've got big fat fingers and they're trying to put that through there and that through there. Anyway. Like that. All attached. So simple. Take your hook. Size 6 wide gate. Send it down. The kettle's nearly ready. And when you pull the hair through, because I'm not going to use any silicone on the bend of this hook. Normally you have like a little bit of silicone there and loads of sort of gubbins going on. You can if you want to, and hopefully in future videos I'll go through more complex rigs and stuff, but just keep it basic for now. So you want your hook bait to be round about at the bottom of the bend, so just where the bend of the hook starts to bend, you want your hook bait round about there. And then I'll just tie 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Pass the hook link back through, and then I just make sure I've got a little bit of coating sort of stripped back, and if it does end up there, don't worry about it, just pull it back with your nail, so you've got a little bit of flexibility there, so you can see that flexibility there. Yeah, okay. So there's a bit of shrink tubing, and the way to get this right, rather than threading it all up the line, is pass it over the eye of the hook. So it's not on the line, pass it over the eye of the hook. And you want to push it up so it just covers the knot and up until it lines up with the point, I don't know if you can see it, but with the point of the hook basically. So it's in line. And then I'll cut my kickers off around about there. So around about the same width as you got up to there, as you got there, so the same half and half if you like. So, and take it off, then thread it over the line, then thread your hook link, through it, pass it up and over the shank, up until it's in line with the point again, and then steam it. So now we've got a nice aggressive angle on that kicker with a little bit of flexibility still there in the hook link, and this is a nice soft triple coated hook link, so it's still fairly stiff, doesn't tangle on the cast, really nice, and the whole thing will sit just like that with the hook on the bottom and the hook bait just above. So the next rod's going to be completely identical. Same rig, same hook bait, same bag of baits, everything's going to be exactly the same. Same lead system. What I like to do is just like to see if I get a bite on either one of those rods, then great. There's every chance I get a bite on the other one. But if I don't, then what I do is I normally swap over to a smaller hook bait or a smaller hook. Just keep changing things around until you get a bite. You generally do get a bite at some point, and colour and that can really make a difference at certain times of the year. Not quite sure about when I'm fishing in quite deep water, because at the moment I'm fishing quite deep out there. Like, I've not plumbed it, but it feels at least like 18 foot, maybe 20 foot. So it's hard to judge whether, you know, colour really makes a big difference when it's like that. But the water, saying that, is gin clear. So yeah. Anyway, I'm going to get the other rod sorted out and hopefully have a bite. Albeit a beautiful start to the morning, and conditions were pretty good as well. It was quite a slow start, hadn't had any bites, any bleeps, not much of any activity out in the water or anything, but anyway, we persevered. First fish of the day. Again, nothing big, only small, just a small common. Nice clean fish. I'm not going to get him out for a picture. I'm going to unhook him and put him back. But anyway, first bite. Taken long enough today. Nothing this morning, but anyway, let's hope they've got their heads down now, so I'll get this rod back out quick. Something else to look out for, and I try to explain it to some of the guys that I take out on tuitions and that. It's almost like a sixth sense. You might hear it from some of the other guys, sort of full-time anglers that are in the public eye a lot. A lot of my mates, people like Adam Penning and Jules Cundiff and that are all good friends and stuff. And you kind of tune into the water. It's hard to explain, but you basically, where I'm so used to looking at water and like sort of staring for ages, basically, you notice any little ripple, any little movement, any little change in the surface layer of that water, you kind of notice. It's hard to explain, but once you get used to doing it, it can often be the sort of difference between catching and not catching. It's one of those little things that, again, makes a massive difference. As you can see here, you've got a bit of a ripple at halfway. It's actually closer than it looks to me. But in between that ripple and where I am, it's flat. And you can just see little bits of a ripple there, here and there. But things to look out for, sort of any change of direction of water. So sometimes, if the wind's blowing one way, the water's only going to go one way. Sometimes you'll get little darts of wind, which blow little streams, and sometimes they can just look like fish on the surface, like, you know, going really fast in the opposite direction, but they're not. It's just wind. But other times, especially when it's flat calm like this, you'll see little tiny sort of bubbles or pinheads breaking the surface, creating different water patterns and stuff. And you kind of notice after many years, really, you kind of tune in, but you can, some people pick it up straight away, whereas it took me a little while to get it, but now I've got it. If they're there, it's almost like you can see through the water. It's quite funny. But anyway, yeah, it's you know, something to look out for. Any little movements of the water, anything that doesn't look quite right, bear that in mind. So because bites were really sort of like slow in forthcoming, I decided to put a couple of spoms of pellet out. This can sometimes spur the fish into feeding, and if things are going slow, it's always worth thinking about doing. It's like they say, you can put it in, but you can't take it out. Hence why I start with small bags, little tiny bits of feed. But if they really want it, they'll sometimes tell you by getting bites. But if not, sometimes it's worth putting some bait out and seeing if they want to get on it. So being prepared is everything. I've got a couple of rigs ready here, which have got the smaller off the hook baits on. Exactly the same setups, slightly smaller hooks. Got some bags tied, and if I don't get a bite on either one of those rods within the next, at least hour, I'll reel one in and swap one over. So seeing as nothing was forthcoming on those rigs, I thought I'd have a recast. So both those rigs went on the rods, and a couple of bags pulled through as per usual, and I decided to cast those both out and see if that made the change. So I've just had a recast for both the rods. Still the same little dumbbells on, and a little bag of pellet with a smart liquid. Had a liner I think on the right rod, and I'm fishing it around. I was fishing it around about 20 wraps. Probably about 18. Yeah, about 18 wraps, which is somewhere toward the middle. Last time I came, which I didn't film, but last time I came, I was fishing out in the middle and ended up having quite a few fish, but bites didn't come till around about 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and which doesn't surprise me. Like I said in the past, like normally, if you're fishing in the winter, bites generally come around about in the afternoon because mornings normally always cold or very cold, and the warmest part of the day obviously is when they're most active. Anyway, like I say, I had quite a few liners on the right, but I've got a feeling they were closer this time, so I've gone at 13.5 wraps on both rods, fairly spaced apart, fishing toward particular points on the far bank, which are my marker, but they're both clipped up to 13.5, and what I've done was I've spommed out 2 spoms of pellet over each rod. Sometimes, well, actually quite often, like as you probably know, I use quite a bit of bait during the winter, but I don't use bags, don't use big bags, use small bags, but I might put quite a bit of bait in, so it's just something to think about, rather than like, because all I'm seeing quite a few people on today, and all I'm seeing is them casting out big bags, so it's not always the way to use big bags. I like to just use little morsels with the hook bait alongside the hook bait, just so that they can suck all that up in one go, rather than come and find the bag and maybe having 1 or 2 attempts at sucking it up and then getting the hook in the mouth. I want them to suck the whole thing up in one go and get hooked. So fish number 2, and they're getting smaller. But a bite is a bite, I guess. And you can't grumble at a bite, can you? Not at this time of year. Anyway, slipping back, get that rod back out again, and you never know. We might have its brother or sister. Well, I've pulled the alarms out. Just going to pack them away. The rods are still out. As you never know, might get a taker. But until next time. As I'd mentioned at the beginning of the video, we were due for a real cold spell to come in the following week. And as you can see, I popped back to see if I could nick a snow carp, but nope, it wasn't happening. Cheers for watching.